So July has come and gone. I am TribalInstincts, and today I'm talking to you about the VR highlights, or at least the interesting bits that I found over the past month. To start things off, earlier this year, HTC announced a standalone VR headset. Well, some more news have surfaced over the past month that shows how they are using the Qualcomm VRDK, Virtual Reality Development Kit, to sort of base their device off of. That's only really interesting because we already know some of the specs of the VRDK. Most notably, the VRDK has two external cameras, plus some other internal components to give it 6 degrees of freedom. If you don't know, that means that you can lean left, lean right, forward, back, you can turn your head all around. So unlike Google Cardboard, you're only able to rotate your head up and down. These movements don't get tracked. With the VRDK, those motions become possible. Another really cool point is the VRDK has two internal cameras, meaning it's tracking your eyes, giving us the ability to have foveated rendering. If you're not familiar with it, there are plenty of video resources out there, but basically it allows software to drive higher resolution where you're looking and allows it to not necessarily focus so much on where you're not looking so that you can have better perceived graphics without actually stressing the GPU higher. It looks like we have some more contenders in the VR space, with Samsung having not intentionally revealed their new Exynos 3 that they're building. This is just a prototype, there's not a whole lot of information. However, one interesting thing is that the specs for this, specifically the lenses, is twice the resolution of the Qualcomm standards. There's not a whole lot of information about this yet, so I mean, it's not really news, it's just like this might come out in the future. However, I do find it interesting to report on these things because the more headsets we get, the more competition's in the market, it's just the better for everybody. That said, the lack of hand tracking in these as a default does seem to be a fairly big limitation. VR is not VR in my opinion unless you can reach out and touch things. And so it's kind of uncomfortable to see that, that's not built into the raw specs. I have seen that there may be some like leap motion type support for this. However, can't confirm that just yet. I've only seen one rumor of it. Speaking of hand tracking, so the creator of Revive, Cross VR, has been sent by Valve a set of the knuckle controllers. This is only interesting because CrossVR is making the software that allows people to buy things off of Oculus to play it on the HTC Vive. That is actively taking money away from Steam. So the fact that Valve is sending this guy some love, like that is really, really cool of them to do this because, I mean, they get it. This guy is actually helping, the overall VR ecosystem. So the fact that they're respecting that and still, supporting him despite him sending traffic away from them, that is great. Kudos to Valve. To follow a great segue with another great segue, in addition to just the knuckle controllers, Versa is a upcoming prototype for a stylus, a tracker-based stylus that allows you to hold it in one way so that you can draw it as if it's like a pen, or hold it like a torch and use it other way. So it's like a controller for drawing uses. Now, I will say that I don't expect that this product is actually going to be great. I'm sorry, but I really don't see the weight that tracker adds to it, allowing me to hold this comfortably like a pen. I love the idea of a stylus for using drawing applications in VR. I don't think this is going to be it. I would really like to see him slim this down and actually use the inherent trackers, like the actual little sensors, to make a more pen-like thing. I just don't see this working as is, but still, nonetheless, I am excited to see more applications coming out to using these trackers and expanding the scope of what we can do in VR. Lastly, on the hardware side, Thermo Reel has announced a product that allows us to experience heat and cold and even pain. They've come up with a series of components that can actually make physical contact with your skin and relay those senses to you. They even talk about having like a full chest or a full suit, full gloves. Like, while this is cool, I want to know what you guys think about this, because the idea of strapping a suit to me that is designed to simulate pain, that sounds like something that I might want to avoid. What happens if this thing goes haywire and it starts exuding too much heat? I don't want to cook myself, right? VR is great, but I don't want that level of immersion. All right, so everything so far has been cool. I'm excited for it. Some changes to the VR scene, potentially with some new hardware and some innovation. This is probably the piece that excites me personally more than anything else. Volkswagen has partnered with a company called InnoActive to help facilitate training and collaboration through the HTC Vive. In the training space, it looks like they're going to send their assembly line workers through a VR training course so they can learn how to do their particular task, and they could do it en masse without having to have everybody crowding around one place. In the collaboration space, it looks like you're going to be able to work with people regardless of where they are and like drop 3D models in there and see the cars and talk and actually interact with each other on a more human level, even with being, you know, around the other side of the world. This is exciting to me because I have a 2-hour commute home right now. It's bad, okay? 2 hours every day of my, working week is just gone due to riding on a bus. That was so that I could get my family out into a nice, peaceful area, have them have a nice yard, and also have this really nice VR room. So I'm sacrificing quite a bit to do that. If we were having real good VR collaboration materials and solutions to make it to where I can work from home and be as effective in like the team setting, this is going to literally change our entire landscape as a culture. Imagine being able to work out in the middle of the boonies while still being able to collaborate with people from all around the world and still be as productive. Right now, you have to keep, like at work, in my work, I'm a software development engineer, and we collaborate on designs and other things, and we use whiteboards quite a lot to sort of express out ideas and draw out diagrams, and that is effective, and it's really, really hard to do those things and have those communications through like a virtual meeting through Skype or whatever else it is. However, if you have it in VR and you can draw things and you can erase things and you can just all be right there, this is going to make a huge difference. In another 5 to 10 years, I see us completely changing how we do our work-life balance thing. We're going to be able to work from home and still be effective social interactions. This means populations in cities is not going to be so dense. That means traffic isn't going to be so dense. That means people aren't going to have to be in cars so much, so you have a positive impact on the environment. There are so many applications. The tendrils that come out from this and just touch everything in our lives is dramatic, and I cannot wait to see how this changes our living landscapes. And to follow up my highlight of the month, here is my sad story of the month. AltSpace VR has announced that it is closing. Now, while I didn't really get into AltSpace very much, this really, really bothers me. In their announcement, they talked about how they've experienced unforeseen financial difficulty. Now, it could just mean that they ran out of money. However, last month, it looks like they've been issued a lawsuit for patent infringement. Now, I don't know if this is why they closed down. However, if it is, this really makes me angry. If you look at the patent, this is just ridiculously, it's just insane that patents like this are able to exist. I fully expect that if this was actually taken to court, there's no way that this would win. But nonetheless, this causes financial burden on a company just to fight these lawsuits. So you have patent trolls that are out there just trying to make a quick buck and trying to send somebody, to a threat of a lawsuit so that they just pay them off and get some quick money. No matter if this is why they're closing down or not, patent trolls like this, they need to be sent somewhere. And in that somewhere is not a very happy place. Palmer Luckey seems to agree with this. I don't know where this is going to go. This is just a tweet that he put out asking if people think that he should help save AltSpace, which if he does, that is really cool. This guy's using his money for good left and right, it seems. Now, I know there's plenty of people that have issues with where he spent his money in the past. I don't care about the political stuff. I'm just talking about the VR space. And for that, I applaud this guy. He seems to be really, really trying to help VR. And to make sure I don't close this off on a bad note, I just want to call out some love to the Ready Player One trailer that was released this month. If you haven't read Ready Player One, I highly recommend it. It's a very fun book centered on virtual reality in the future in sort of like a dystopian society and how VR is that escape and a bunch of things that go on in VR. So it's really, really cool. Love the book. Love the fact that this is being adapted into a movie. That said, there are a few scenes in this trailer that make me kind of worried because it doesn't seem to be completely like what I had in my mind whenever I was reading through this. But no matter what, I'm excited for this. I really hope they don't ruin it. And that is it for my news for the month of July. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's anything that I missed in July that should have been in this video. And again, huge thanks to the people in Discord. They are providing me a bunch of these links. They're helping me filter through a lot of the things that come on Reddit, other news sites, and they're giving me links that allow me to do my research more effectively. Calling those things out has saved me so much time. So thank you so much to everybody in Discord for helping me make these videos. And now I am done here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button below. If you didn't, hit the downvote button and tell me what I can do to make them better. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.